were they?
No, they weren't. The Garden has a new favorite villain, Bill. Ever since he faxed up and moved to the beach, Knicks fans have had this night marked on the calendar. Pat Riley's New York return. Sort of a therapy session for the fans to speak their mind. And it was an entrance fit for a rock star. His first time back in the Garden since last May 21st, Pat Riley returned as public enemy #1. Yeah, Riles took all the old fans could dish out. And then he had greetings from his old backcourt, John Starks and Derek Harper. Fans booed all that, too. Same for a hug from Patrick Ewing. Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason didn't greet Riles. Knicks must have got caught up in the moment, because did they ever come out in a funk? Missed their first 9 shots, didn't score for more than the first 5 minutes. Frustrating, sure. Even got Patrick yelling at his new boss, Nelly. The franchise, though, regrouped all by himself. Patrick the block and does the rest himself. It was a regular Riley defense-a-thon, only 39-33 Knicks at the half, and then they blew it open with a 14-2 run in the third. Nelly-like ball movement ends up with John Starks, and you bet Riles needed a timeout. Didn't help the underman heat. End of the third. Derek Harper ends up with it, and he beats the buzzer. Harp had 13, the tension off, Knicks by 12 after 3, and they blew it wide open. Mace has a big target. It's Patrick. Topped him with 18. Pat Riley may have gotten $40 million to go to Miami. They could only muster 70 to the Knicks 89. Riles' return, though, was a memorable one.
I've always embraced the fan in New York as being one of the very best. And what they had to offer to me, I would just take it for what it is. But I wanted to show my appreciation back to them regardless of what was being said or what was being chanted.
Yeah, I felt bad for them, you know, but this is New York, and so, you know, they're going to love you while you're here, and they're going to boo you when you're not here.
Much of the hard feelings come from Riley's faxed resignation. Finally, an explanation.
It didn't make any difference whether I faxed it in, conferenced it in, phoned it in, had a satellite delivery of it in. I resigned 2 weeks before the fax, and the only reason why the fax has become fashionable is because I was ordered to send the fax by the commissioner. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sent a damn fax, okay?
Okay, could have told us that 6 months ago.
The Knicks bring in a proven high-profile 19-year NBA head coaching veteran, sign him to a 3-year contract, and then fire him 59 games later. Don Nelson is out. His assistant, Jeff Van Gundy, is in as head coach of the Knicks. Knicks president Ernie Grunfeld made the announcement for the 34-25 club.
The main reason we made this change was because we didn't feel like the team was responding for whatever reason. And we felt like we needed to go in a new direction.
I have 2 things that I am going to ask of our guys on a day in and day out basis. And that is to work hard and to play together.
And how did the team react when Jim Dolan was with the club in Philadelphia? He files this report.
Take just a second. Talk to us. Right now. One by one, the Knicks said, not right now. Patrick Ewing wouldn't talk. And John Starks, the guy who more than anyone publicly feuded with Nelson, wouldn't talk either. Only a couple of newcomers. First, Brad Lohaus. You think there was some tension on the team that might be eased by this?
Well, I don't know. I didn't really see any of it. I just got here. You know, it's hard to say, but, you know, I'm sure we're going to change things a little bit, but, you know, I think that's basketball.
I really didn't get a chance to get to play for Coach Nelson like I liked, and unfortunately, you know, these things worked out the way they did. But, you know, this is what the league's all about being professional and going on and doing your job.
All right, shocking news. Don Nelson fired as head coach of the Knicks after just 59 games. Let's go to baseball now. The Mets learned today that they may
today. Well, it would have been rough for him. You've heard of win one for the Gipper? How about win one for Van Gundy? The new Knicks coach makes his Garden debut, and his Knicks play their best game of the year against the league's best, the Bulls, who play their worst, in front of the man who used to be known as Prince, and the guy who is now known as the head coach of the Knicks, Jeff Van Gundy, and he lit a fire under those Knicks, especially Patrick Ewing early. The Knicks a tremendous start. Michael Jordan was really the only Bull who came to play, 19 of his 32 in the first half. It was like Patrick wanted this more than anything and inspired 26. Knicks up 8 on free agent coach Phil Jackson's team, and his Bulls came out firing to begin the second half. It was Jordan. Then it was Pippen, who got hurt later on. 17-1, Chicago went on a run. Nelly's Knicks would have folded there, but Van Gundy's didn't. It was because of Derek Harper from 3, and Derek Harper, 3 more. Derek Harper scored 16 of his 23 in the third quarter. They hold the Bulls to 30 points in the second half, and Jeff Van Gundy wins by 34. That's his age. His first career head coaching win, Derek Harper made sure Jeff has a memento. He grabbed him the game ball.
I'm not surprised that we won. You know, we should win at home. And, you know, the differential is obviously surprising, but not the win.
We said free agent head coach Phil Jackson. He answered no questions afterwards, so he didn't address the possibility about coming to the Knicks. His free agent superstar said if Phil comes, Michael Jordan might.
I'm not saying that I end up here in New York. You know, that's not a guarantee. I mean, I must evaluate the possibilities. You know, my heart is to be with Phil Jackson in Chicago.
Basketball dream. Then there's the Nets, who have been awfully low.
As expected, Brian Mahoney was asked to step down from that.
Following the school's worst season in over 3 decades, Mahoney spent 4 years on the job and produced just 1 winning season.
Most difficult decisions I've ever had to make. But I want to say that we want to thank Brian Mahoney for his years of dedication, both as a head coach, as an assistant coach. He served this institution. He's a man of high integrity, and we wish him the best of luck. But it was time to go in a different direction, and that's where the decision was made.
They always sound like eulogies, don't they? The life of Brian was prosperous in the first season. He was named the Conference Coach of the Year, but it was all downhill after that. The last time St. John's went 3 consecutive seasons with losing records was over 7 decades ago.
As NFL owners convene, their employees continue
to keep coaching the Red Storm.
Scott Clarkson, Shea. Good evening, Scott. Good evening, Bill. You know, it's just 1 game in 162, but think about any journey that you take, and you think about that first step. Well, it's very, very important. And the Mets got right out on the right step today here at Shea. With the opening pitch, we start, right? Well, the good governor, yes, and Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Governor George Pataki, time to play ball after that. After the two got to it, Bobby Jones got the opening day call for the Mets. He got hammered. In the 4th inning, John Mabry touches Jones for a solo home run. The Cards had a 3-0 lead. Still in the 4th, Willie McGee hits a 3-run job. 6-0 Cardinals, and the end for Jones, who gave up 6 runs on 8 hits in 3 2/3. But the Mets started to rally. Todd Hundley and Bernard Gilkey each homered to bring the Mets to within 3, 6-3, and then the play of the game. Watch this. After Ray Langford's double, Gilkey relays to Ray Ordonez from his knees. He gunned down the speedy Royce Clayton. How about that? Then Gilkey made his former team pay. Gilkey capped off 5 straight Mets hits in the 7th with an RBI single, scored Chris Jones to tie it at 6. After Rico Brogna's sac fly gave them the lead, John Franco came in to close it out. It's Ordonez's slick glove once again that ends it. Dallas Green and the Mets are in first place, 7-6, the final today.
Proud of them today. Golly, that was a great win. Just a super, super win. And everybody contributed. You can't pick any superstar out in our bunch, but we got the job done. I was really proud of everybody.
Yeah, it's always sweet to win, you know, but it felt kind of strange playing against those guys, but we got to beat everybody. We got to go out there and not look at who we're playing, but we got to go out there and just win ball games.
So great joy here at Shea Stadium for the Mets, but there was also tragedy in baseball today. Today's Reds-Expos game in Cincinnati was postponed because the umpire, John McSherry, a native New Yorker who lived in Dobbs Ferry, suffered a massive heart attack while he was umpiring behind the plate at today's game. McSherry was taken to the hospital, later pronounced dead at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. We had reaction from his peers today.
We're broken-hearted. We lost one of our, great umpires, a great colleague, and a super guy. And all of us are hurting today.
John McSherry was 51 years of age. The Yankees season opener was postponed today. It was snowed out. Thank you very much, Mark. Inclement weather also forced the postponement of today's Orioles-Royals game.
Take over the Red Storm, replacing Brian Mahoney, who left the Johnnies at their lowest point in years. At Manhattan, Fraschilla took the Jaspers to their highest, even won an NCAA tourney game. Seems a perfect fit.
He is also a New Yorker. He's one of our own. And, of course, he's Italian and Irish, so that took care of Father Harrington and Coach Carnesecca and myself. So to be here today as a New Yorker, as a kid from Brooklyn, is just a great thrill. And I have a tremendous opportunity and, I think, obligation to uphold the great tradition of St. John's both on and off the court.
Any kid from Brooklyn's okay with me. So much for Boomer Esiason's desire to play for a program around.
Nobody likes to lose. Nobody likes to have people say they're not successful. And I don't think there's any question that the kind of people that I know are in this program, that they'll work hard. And I think ultimately we'll get to where we need to go.
You're going to have a team coming in that's been through the wars. So maybe the lessons that they've learned is going to bear fruit this year.
Louis, still a major player in the decision-making at St. John's. Fischello replaces Brian Mahoney, fired by St. John's last month after going
upset by Katerina.
This will probably be remembered as the greatest off-court day in Knicks history. You can do nothing but applaud Knicks GM Ernie Grunfeld. It took him just 4 days of NBA free spending to sign up a brand new, younger, and better backcourt, plus more. Sharpshooter Allen Houston and former Nets QB Chris Childs are here, and the long-rumored deal for Larry Johnson is done. The Knicks introduced their big free agent score about an hour ago at the Garden. Scoring is what Allen Houston's all about. Comes from the Pistons. 6'6" gunner, averaged nearly 20 points a game. The 25-year-old gets a 7-year deal worth $56 million. Then the spending continued for Chris Childs. A tough, perfect compliment to Houston. Childs leaves the Nets, comes through the tunnel for 6 years and $24 million. The new money men seem very pleased to be arriving in the Big Apple.
I haven't gotten a lot of sleep in the last 2 or 3 days, but I'll be able to sleep now. When I got up this morning, I ate a big, juicy apple. So that just tells you where my head is at.
You know, it's like a dream come true that you watch New York play on TV when you were younger. And, you know, one of my idols was Clyde Frazier. So, you know, hopefully I can come here and contribute.
Add to the new backcourt, LJ. The deal that sends Anthony Mason to Charlotte for Larry Johnson completed a 60% change in the Knicks starting lineup.
With the 3 new players that we've added, we feel that we'll be one of the top teams in competing for a championship, not only this year, but for years to come.
They are younger and they are better. The Knicks will start Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Charles Oakley, Allen Houston, and Chris Childs. It still ain't the Bulls, but they are so much better than they were when the season ended a year ago. And the free agent
season, but they were expected to compete, and they haven't. So somebody has to go. Round up the usual suspects. Dallas Green is done. Bobby Valentine is on as the new manager of the New York Mets, a man who lost more than he won while managing the Texas Rangers for 7 years, but a man known as a good teacher of young talent. In Dallas Green, the Mets had a straight-shooting, tough-talking manager who led a cleaning of the Mets house, but the young, promising players on this squad failed him. They're 59 and 72. They're 12 games out of a playoff spot, so Green is out. And Valentine, who was managing the Mets AAA Norfolk team, is in.
I'll be asking guys to do things, to evaluate. I'll be seeing how things mesh together. And I'll try to contribute. And there's no doubt about that. I do that. I'm a contributor, but I'm just not sure how much I can do other than take it in and figure it out.
Mark Stevens is live at Shade now for more on this latest Mets move. Mark?
Scott, the Mets gave Bobby Valentine a contract for the remainder of this season, the remaining 5 weeks, and all of next season. There was no managerial search. Their general manager, Joe McIlvaine, didn't feel the need to look outside of the organization.
We made the choice with Bobby because we wanted to try and take it from internal, from within, and at the same time we wanted somebody with some past level of experience before. And Bobby fit the bill, and a guy that relates well and knows the players.
People are not jumping for joy over this. How do you respond to that? I understand that. You know, when I was fired in Texas, people weren't jumping for joy over that either. I understand fans. Fans don't know me, and many, even of the media, don't know me and don't know what I could do.
We'll see what he can do. Begins here tomorrow night. He comes with his pitching coach. Bob Apodaca replaces Greg Pavlik. It begins against the Padres tomorrow at Shea, and right now that's where we're live. Mark Stevens, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Scott?
All right, Mark. Tonight, the Yankees are in Seattle to begin their...
Each other. It's hard to tell how bad they are. Sometimes. Not today, when the 0-3 Jets met the 0-3 Giants. A game so badly played, if you stayed to watch the entire affair, you might consider getting involved in a good 12-step program. Let's go to the Futility Bowl, where the best thing about this game is that it didn't last long. But it was the Jets who were all wet today, pounded by the rain. In the Giants' second quarter, Jets up 3-zip, but Dave Brown rolls right. He's going to throw a strike to Chris Callaway at the 6-yard line right there. He goes in for 6 points. Giants go up for good, but for most of the game, you'd have thought the ball carried the Ebola virus the way players were dropping it. Here's my favorite. It's hard to figure out who's worse here. Neil O'Donnell throws over the middle. Jesse Armstead intercepts, but it's not over. Armstead drops the ball. The Jets recover. They lose 20 yards, but they gain a first down. Late in the third now, Jets down 7-6, and Wayne Crevette back to receive the punt. He drops it. Hello, Houston, we have a problem. Rich Kotite wondering how in the world he'll find another owner as gullible as Leon Hess. Seconds left in the game now. O'Donnell needs a first down, but he gets sacked like the groceries at pass mark. Game over. Jets go 0-4 for the first time since '92. Giants at 1-3, and the Super Bowl must sure seem a long way for that guy.
We're 0-4 right now. No one's happy. No one's glad we're 0-4. No one's not taking it lightly. It's something we really have to, look and find answers for. I mean, it's tough.
We're all embarrassed. I'm certainly embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for the fans, and we had every opportunity to come out and play well. You never know if you're going to win or not, but we didn't give ourselves an opportunity to win. You're looking at the guy that the buck stops with.
It was a big win for us because we had to overcome a lot of elements. We had to overcome this crowd. That was, I kind of felt like, I don't know if you guys ever seen Escape from New York, but I felt like Snake Plissken walking into the House of the Dregs or whatever, I don't know.